You want me to love you, but you don't love me now. Why should I give my heart to you? We gonna shut that motor down. I've been searching for you for a long time now, but you've left my heart's vision. Now you want me to stay in your life. That won't happen again. No, you said no. I said no. Can't blame you. No. I like that book.
Where my eyes, they move faster down Summer Street, and until that rain can make numbers make believe, then I believe in all I see. In the shadows now shaping, and the night
She sing I like the book. I like that book. Is here now. Well, I swear she texts me at the most inopportune times. And so like I say, my name is Charlie Crawford. It feels good to be back. I want to let y'all know about a book that I just finished reading last night. It's a book that, even on the back, right, it says it's one of those unforgettable books, and it says you can read it in one sitting. But these are one of these type of stories where I can't, me personally, I have to pause and gather myself, get myself together. And the book is by author Rebecca Serle, S-E-R-L-E, all right? And the book is called In 5 Years. So I will say this before I even start talking just a little bit about it. It's not going to be a long review. It surprised me in a sense that not so much the scenes, although there were some scenes that caught me off guard beautifully. I wasn't prepared for this overarching situation that came about. And when it comes to story, the most important thing is how it gets the reader, or if you're watching a movie, the viewer, to feel about the journey that said characters have gone through. And like I always say, can I snatch something from that viewing or from that reading to make applicable to my life and make my life better, so I can go and speak to my fellow earthlings and try to make their day and make their life better and things of these natures. And so I think this book definitely gathered the ability to do that along the journey, and Rebecca Serle definitely did her job here. Is it me, or is it getting cold in this nation a lot sooner than we like? This global warming stuff, I'm not saying it. To be fair, snow is kind of disappearing. Like I was born and raised in Ohio, and it used to get cold around this time all the time, and we would see, for example, snow on Christmas. For the past decade, it's been like this on Christmas. But I don't know, maybe 2020 just bringing the cold back. So what say you? Check out the summary here on the Libby app. It says, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Danny Cohen lives her life by the numbers. She is nothing like her lifelong best friend, the wild, whimsical, believes in fate Bella. Her meticulous planning seems to have paid off after she nails the most important job interview of her career and accepts her boyfriend's marriage proposal in one fell swoop, falling asleep completely content. But when she awakens, she's suddenly in a different apartment with a different ring on her finger and beside a very different man. Danny spends 1 hour exactly 5 years in the future before she wakes again in her own home on the brink of midnight. But it is 1 hour she cannot shake. And 5 years is an unforgettable love story, but it is not the one you're expecting. I repeat, it is not the one you're expecting. And I'm gonna leave it at that. First of all, I thought the character was a little shallow. Like I said, she lived by the numbers. Everything was just, oh, you know, when I get here and when I get there, once I accomplish this, once, you know, I get married there and with this guy and blah, 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 blah. Without even understanding what the story would become, I kind of felt that, again, it was just shallow. Like, I'm like, okay, how are you going to be, though? You know what I mean? Where you want to be in 5 years, cool. We want to say what we want to have, where we want to have been, who we want to be with. A lot of people don't really talk about that. But you want to have success. You want to have material values and things like that, stuff to point to and say, look at what I had to obtain, and look at what I had to come through, or however you want to break that down. But me personally, I like to see people explain also, at least in the book, right? The advantage that we got in the book is we see how they feel and what they're thinking. You know, I like to see them explain how they have bettered themselves and what kind of person they're going to be, and or what kind of impact that they have made on other people's lives or just on this earth. I thought it flowed well, the beginning, you know, laying out her life and we figuring out who is who, what kind of person she is, what she likes to do. You know what I mean? Things of these natures. We know who the character is. The first 2 chapters to me felt like a fairy tale. She was just, again, being swooped off her feet and things like that. She was getting everything that she ever wanted. Kind of like how a story usually starts is, it's usually boring, right? We just seeing a character in their day-to-day, but this character, you know, everything was just going right in the beginning. Everything was going right. And her world kind of explodes when she has this vision or this dream or whatever. And all throughout the story, she can't shake it. She cannot get over it. It felt too real. And at that point, it was an epiphany. So it started to make her reflect on things that isn't so on the nose, isn't so, oh, get this salary, get this job, live like this, live with him, and on the surface, we're good. You know what I mean? She started to dig a little deeper. Overall, I thought her writing was great. Sometimes it was just unnecessary stuff I thought going on. A lot of fluff. Slow parts. There was a chapter that I thought kind of took me out of the story when I think she was she at dinner or something like that. She was with her best friend, and it was just them talking. And you know, it's not like I don't like the way she explained things, because I do. Like she explained why she likes corporate law and why she prefer to do deals like she does. She's that type of lawyer. She does deals. The black and white, right? She doesn't prefer to be the lawyer that goes to court and things like that, the flashiness. And you know, you can go to court and sway somebody decision by making them feel a certain way. You know, lawyers be lying in there. But I like the way her passion was explained. So the point is, you'd be lucky if every 4 or 5 chapters something juicy would happen, right? Don't get me wrong, everything that I have said up to this point only refers to the before the midpoint. Now it's crazy as hell because I'm listening to it on audiobook, and right around the midpoint is when that this is an unforgettable love story, but not the one you expect. That's when this comes into play. Everything, like I said, everything that I just said, wipe all that away. That's you know what I mean. When you only reading the story up into the midpoint, it becomes real fast. It becomes real fast, and no longer are you thinking about, unless you have a personal traumatic experience with the situation in the book that they're going through. And I can't say much about this book, which is cool. I can't say much, so I'm gonna keep this one short. I want y'all to get into this one and make up and grab things that you can make applicable to your life. I like that word, applicable. But I forget what I was talking about, but the point is, it's a really, really good time to keep reading and dig deeper and follow this character's journey, because you see a remarkable transformation, and you start to see that she starts valuing what's really, 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 really important for my Spanish ignorant folk. So to me, this book right here, thank you, Rebecca Serle, changed the way I see love stories. You know what I mean? I would always I hear love story, I hear romance, I hear next. You know what I mean? I ain't with the fairy tale, I ain't with the, you know what I mean? I'm raising a daughter myself. You know what I mean? A lot of these movies and these books, it ain't real love. You know what I mean? So, but this was definitely a love story, and man, just right here, and I want to pass that beautiful experience that I have on to you guys. Whatever. It was a great effort in showing that a lot of these characters looked into the future. They planned a lot into the future, but none of them saw the future end up like they saw it. Instead, we should focus on the here and now, right? Love with the most present heart. I got some quotes here. I'm gonna say some quotes, and then I'll do some takeaways, and I'm gonna take y'all away. Y'all can go on about your business, enjoy the rest of your day. And I think that maybe that is what love is. Not the absence of space, but the acknowledgement of it. The thing that lives between the parts. The thing that makes it possible not to be one, but to be different. To be two. Love doesn't require a future. It is the only thing that does not need to become at all. It matters only insofar as it exists here, now. So this next one is talking about our passion. You loved it because for you, the win is the game. That is how you know you're meant for it. All the preparedness in the world cannot stop the unexpected from happening. So the more of the story for me is, I noticed that the pickle that she found herself in, Danny, the main character, caused her to look at her current relationships more so than her status. It's not important anymore, right? And I think the defining moment in this story was an intense scene where, she focused, or she looked at the clock just ticking away. She wanted to throw it out the window. It was a proverbial surrender to time. She wants it to stop marching her forward. The woman who did all of this planning for her future wants time to stop getting her there. And so let's get into some takeaways for me. They're kind of like different and random, but I noticed them, so I'll go and throw them to you. And it was a quote here. It says, "Not because we're the same, but because we fit." And to me, folks, that there is the name of the game. So, you guys can be different. If you're in a relationship, you can be different, but as long as you fit, you know what I mean? That's a big part of it. That's a real big part of it. Most of us, outside of just the looks, we want somebody who's cooperative, right? Somebody who's going to hold you down, somebody's going to be there with you, somebody's going to be loyal, but there has to be some type of fit. But one of the main things is, how do they fit? Do they fit inside of your life, or do they fit inside of your heart? Hint, hint. That's going to be mentioned in the book as well. So if they fit, you're immensely blessed, but make sure they fit, not just on the surface. It has to go deeper. Another one is, how do you prepare yourself for a very, very, very serious, maybe life-altering situation? You know what I mean? I noticed that when things hit the fan, a lot of these people, they didn't pray, or a lot of people don't believe in God or whatever. How do you get yourself, ready for, to go into war, to go into a battle? However battle it is, it's important to get your mind and your body in sync for these things that we go to. A lot of people go into some of the most important moments of their life all willy-nilly, and they wonder why they pass out, the knees lock up and things like that. How do you get ready? And so the last one is, although she's been able to plan and implement her plans really well, she and her boyfriend throughout her life and the story, I thought it was imperative that she have one's plans that show who she is and is going to become. It's much more important that way, and not so shallow It's like building your house on a solid foundation instead of sand, because your job can be taken away. All of these things can be taken away if you're trying to do surface goals. But if you work on yourself inside out, it's just much more foundationally important and probably efficient. So, I mean, without a doubt, I'm a red chef this book, so you already know what that means. You already know what that means. You dig me's now. Is that a new truck? That's a new truck. And so, I just wanted to thank everybody for watching the story. I thank everybody for watching the review. It's great when you can take a character and you can flip them all the way around. You can see that in the beginning of the book, you can see them going through something, and in your mind, when you just start the story, you're like, oh man, that probably wasn't the right decision. But you following this character's journey, you know that right away that internally they're gonna need something, whether they reject it in the beginning or not. They're gonna need it, and then throughout the story, they're gonna get it, and you're gonna be like, okay, good. This character is good. Why is this shaking? Has this been shaking the whole time? Anyway, it was that kind of story, and you started to rock with the story. You started to rock with the character. You started to care for the character, and I love that it wasn't flat, and I love that the love interest was what it was, and how it came about, because it was the most beautiful love story that you could read, especially during these times. You want to love presently. You want to love as if it ain't no tomorrow and things like that, right? I'm coming at you there. Wow. And so we have to love with the most fierce kind. You know what I mean? And read this story. I guarantee you, it'll have a special place in your heart. And for me, it will have a special place on my red bookshelf. That's it. I can't say no more. I don't want to spoil it for nobody, and I still got to drive and reflect on many themes, or the great theme that the book laid out for me. It's quiet. I'm gonna get on about it. So I'm that way. And so peace. Charlotte Roy is out. That was whack, but I'm out.